Hi guys, so it's me Alexis, and today we are going to be talking about the Scorpio Rising. Last week you guys voted for Scorpio and Cancer. They actually got tied, and since it's Scorpio season, I am going to be covering Scorpio this time. You're welcome, Scorpios. And let's get started. So when it comes to Scorpio, before I talk about the rising, I want to talk about the sign itself. Scorpio is the sign of intimacy, secrets, transformations. Scorpio is very extreme, very intense, polarizing. Like, you're not gonna meet a Scorpio and feel like, they're caressing you. When you meet a Scorpio rising, it's gonna feel like a slap in the face. And depending on how you take it, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. Don't ask me why you would love a slap in the face. When it comes to a Scorpio rising, your views of them can be very polarizing. Your views could also be very changing. And I want to say that because, I'm just gonna have like a very crappy visual illustration of a Scorpio. This is the exterior of a Scorpio, and here's like the inside of a Scorpio. On the outside, it's seemingly very calm, very calm, composed. That's what a Scorpio rising wants you to see. What they don't want you to see is all of this bubbling, changing, dynamic like feeling. Scorpio reminds me of, a boiling pot of water and you put the lid over the water. There's just so much going on under there, and like you can kind of see like the remnants of not the remnants, but like parts of their inside steaming out of the pot. Scorpios try their best to, keep themselves secretive, composed, all that stuff because, they're kind of a fixed sign. They kind of want, a fixed position, but they're also a sign of transformation. So there's just all this change, all this dynamic under them. With that being said, you may have a very different view of them every time you see them because they're always changing all the time, even though they're trying their best to stay, stable. It's interesting because their sister sign, Taurus, is the same way, except Taurus, unlike Scorpio, they're more stable. Scorpios don't want people to know how they are on the inside because it's very, I don't want to say ugly. Scorpios and other people maybe can feel like the inside of them is something that can't be properly shown. Scorpio is correlated with the 8th house, which is the house of taboos. So it's kind of like talking about sex at the dinner table. You're not gonna do that. It's just awkward. And I feel like Scorpios, they feel like on the inside, they have to hide that awkward part of themselves. And it may not even be awkward, they just want to hide it. Scorpios are very secretive. You're not gonna know too much at the first meeting, but like I said earlier, even though they're trying their best to be secretive, there's always something that's going to be let out at some point or another. Since Scorpio risings are secretive, they know the value of information and secrets. People hate Scorpios for this, but when you're a Scorpio rising, you kind of like to read between the lines. You're very observant. You like to watch a person's moves when you first meet them. You are very deep and analytical when it comes to reading people. And while you can be very intuitive and very good at it, at the same time, sometimes you overread things. Suppose you're on a date with some girl and you see that she has a weird grip on her chopsticks. If you're a Scorpio rising, you're gonna think that your date is holding her chopsticks weird because she had this terrible childhood trauma that affected her for the rest of her life, and now she is doomed to hold her chopsticks the wrong way, and it's a tragedy. And you see where I'm coming from? It's not that deep, maybe your date can't hold her fucking chopsticks because she never learned how to hold her chopsticks. Maybe she tried to learn how to hold chopsticks before meeting you, wherever you're eating at. So Scorpio, it's not that deep. Yes, some things can be deep, and yes, there's some things you can find, but dude, there is no need to overread someone and then, read them wrong because you overread them and then make up a story in your head and be obsessive about it and then letting it go crazy. One perk of a Scorpio rising is that along with Aries rising and Capricorn rising? I mean, not a mistake. Just kidding. So along with Aries and Capricorn rising, Scorpio is commonly considered to be a sexy rising. And I guess it's true. I mean, personally, I'm really attracted to the Scorpio energy. Scorpio is considered to be a sexy rising because, you know, Scorpio is the sign of sex. The 8th house rules sex. I kind of want to specify what kind of sex Scorpio is correlated with because this can be misunderstood. Scorpio is not so much about the physical act of sex, it's more of the intimate kind of sex. Like, Aries is more physical. Scorpio takes sex on a whole intimate, symbolic level. If you're a virgin, you may not know how this intimacy feels, but you know, if you have had sex in a meaningful way, at least, not like a one-night stand or something, there's just this very hard to describe intimacy you have with someone when you have sex with them. That intimacy is what Scorpio wants. It's the intimacy that Scorpio craves. When you kind of translate that onto someone's, you know, appearance, Scorpio risings tend to have this smoldering, sexy kind of look. I'll be talking about their physical characteristics. I only know one Scorpio rising. I think one common characteristic I see in Scorpio risings is that they have this very smug face. They have this face where they're constantly narrowing their eyes, their eyes are very intense. I think that's the most notable thing about Scorpio. Scorpio risings have very intense eyes. When you look at a Scorpio rising and they look back at you, you can feel their eyes penetrating through your whole body. It's crazy. Scorpio tends to be a sign that's kind of dark because, you know, they keep secrets, they're secretive. Secrets are kept in the dark. They might have very, very, very dark hair, very dark eyes. Even if they were blonde and had blue eyes, their hair, their blondish hair can be like a very dark blonde. Or their blue eyes wouldn't be very bright, it'd be very dark and subdued. That's kind of what you get with Scorpio. You get intensity in the eyes. I think all Scorpios, rising or not, have this really interesting eyebrow eye kind of conjunction. Their eyebrows and eyes are very close together kind of, and because of that it makes their stare very intense. Anyways, that's probably it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please tell me about your experiences with Scorpio risings and please tell me if I was accurate. See you guys next video. Bye!